I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street. And there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman, because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Good to be here with you. It is Sunday night. Tonight, it is live as we're recording, Sunday evening, Sunday the 28th of July. This is the 250th episode. 250th episode of the Political Spotlight. I hope you're all doing well. We have had a good weekend here. Had a good relaxing day yesterday. Had a good day today. Had kind of a bizarre show on Friday night, but it was a good show. Kind of a little off topic. Nothing really too big on the menu, but we got through it and had a good time. I enjoyed spending my birthday with you freaks, geeks, and weirdos. I appreciate you all very much. Thank you all for being here and spending my birthday with me. It was a good birthday. Thank you. Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are dealing with a little bit of a catch-all. Tonight is a potluck politics night, if you will. Kind of just throw it all together and see what we end up with. We're going to be talking about topics, focusing on topics from kind of interest to folks from Henry County. We're going to be talking about the lawsuit. We're going to be talking about the lawsuit from Henry County. So we're going to talk about that. We are also going to be talking about a little bit more of the situation that's currently boiling up underneath us without anyone's understanding or knowledge. Whatever's going on down on 12th Street, I'm going to be looking into more this week. We'll be talking about that. And then I'm just going to briefly talk about state level politics as we talk about some recently released plans. Well, I shouldn't say recently released plans from Mike Braun that Mike Braun released last Friday, actually on my birthday, with Rob Kendall at 93.1 on WIBC. He released his plan for property tax reform. We're going to compare that to Don Rainwater's property tax plan. Now, Don Rainwater's property tax plan has, in one form or another, been out since he was running in 2020. So it's not something that is like new. It's something that has been talked about, discussed. He has discussed it, discussed this, over and over and over. So it's not something that's just been dreamed up. And that's some of the question with Mike Braun's is this has been such a major issue for citizens in Indiana, for Hoosiers. Why is this something that's just now being discussed? Because we have a super majority. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about the lawsuit in Henry County between myself and the sheriff, and Alva then wants to know when we're going to be talking about what's going on in Louisiana. There's a lot of stuff going on in Louisiana. We need like a Louisiana bureau of the political spotlight. There's quite a bit going on down there. So we've got a packed evening, folks. Before we get started, I do want to ask that you do us a favor. If you're watching on YouTube, please give us the thumb. Stick it right up. Give us the thumb. Give us a like. We'd appreciate it very, very much if you could do that. If you have not subscribed, please consider subscribing. It does not cost you anything. Once you subscribe, you can hit the bell. If you are here watching on the live broadcast Sunday evening, please communicate with us. We are a very interactive show. We would love to communicate with you. So just comment over here. You will type in over there on the live chat. If you're watching here at your own convenience at some point in the future, then please comment down below at the comment section. We will get back to you. I do try to go through there and knock through those every now and then. So we would be very appreciative of that. But above all else, we would like for you to share the show with everyone you know. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I didn't even know this. Somebody sent me this newspaper article. I guess this was yesterday. I think this was yesterday. It might have been Friday evening. Someone sent me this newspaper article from the Courier-Times, and I've seen it pop up in a couple other places since when I was originally looking for this. And it's of interest to me. It's specifically of interest to me because what's funny is when I look at this article and I read the article is quoting documents that have been submitted to the court. So these are claims, these are affidavits, these are statements that have been made during deposition, which means different than just someone talking to the newspaper and talking to their friend that's a reporter, or someone in the newspaper quoting someone and it being wrong. Listen, I don't know how everybody else does it, but if I'm ever talking to a judge or I'm talking to an attorney who is asking me a question in front of a judge while I'm on the stand, after at some point I've put my hand on a Bible and I've sworn to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help me God, and then I've said I do, I generally try to do that. because not doing that, well, it is a lie, but it's also in that form, it's like perjury. So it's really odd to me when I read something that is factually not true. And so I thought, some of my viewers are concerned about the First Amendment. All of my viewers should be concerned. I know most of you care about it, and a lot of you, are like, yeah, First Amendment. But some of you really care, and others of you just kind of care. But this is important. This is important for everybody, and I don't care. This is important whether you live in my city or you live in Henry County or you live in some little island off of Alaska that's still part of the United States. What I'm getting ready to go over with you is very important. And I just noticed I don't have my rings. I don't know where my Superman ring is. That's why I'm feeling a little out of sorts. I don't know where my ring is. I'm feeling a little less powerful. I don't know what's that. That's weird. I'll have to find out where that went. Interesting. All right. If everyone who ever lied while under oath went to jail, we'd have to build tons of new jails. I'm fine with that. We could let out the people who are in there for consuming plants and other natural substances and put in politicians who lie. Politicians who lie for 100, Alex. All right, let's take a look at this article. And what's funny to me is I got to tell you all this funny story. My dad owned a company called Muncie Tent and Awning. And it was a company that had been around in Muncie since 1910. That's like crazy. 1910. I would have liked to have been around in 1910. That would be wild. They had been around since 1910, Muncie Tent and Awning. They put up all of the awnings that were all up and down Walnut and on all of the cross streets. They did work all over Indiana, East Central Indiana. They did work all throughout the Midwest. They had the Blockbuster Video franchise, so all of the Blockbuster Video blue and yellow awnings that they did, Blockbuster or Muncie Tent and Awning did those. Had a lot of other major contracts like that. Did other canvas work, boat covers, all kinds of various other canvas works. The big tents for like weddings and like you see it during football games in Ball State and whatnot. We do those, whatever. Fantastic place to work. Always when I was a small child, like when I was like 8, 9, 10, anytime that it would snow in Muncie, we'd have big snows here, and you'd see Channel 8, Channel 13, Channel 6 would start running the scroll down on the bottom. The Church of Nazarene has canceled services. Second shift of the, John Company doesn't have to come in. Schools are canceled. I'd always pick up the phone, dial the phone, boop, 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 and I'd say, this is manager for Muncie Tent and Awning calling. Second and third shift of Muncie Tent and Awning do not have to report. Muncie Tent and Awning didn't have a second and third shift. Well, what in the hell? But they'd always run it down, and we always did that. And I always did that because I was like, man, it's like making it look like a big operation. We got people working around the clock in there. I kind of feel like that's what the Courier-Times does. The Courier-Times has like one reporter. And instead of just having this guy write the articles and write that he's the hold on. Sorry about that, folks. We had a little we got JD gremlins in the machine. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, sorry, there we go. Kind of like like when Bart Simpson would call Mose. But I feel like this guy is doing what I'm doing, because instead of just putting his name on the articles, Travis Week, he doesn't do that. Instead, he always writes this on his articles. He always writes Courier-Times staff reporter. Well, no kidding. No kidding. You're the only staff reporter there, bro. Just write your name. We know it's you. I don't really like that guy. All right, Kate, I'm going to go off screen to read this article. So number one, because we're having a little wonkiness. So if I cut out, please come on and let me know that's if I freeze or whatever, let me know, or if something else happens. So, okay, let me blow this up here so you guys can read along as I'm reading along with you. Trying to get all this other crap out of the way. I hate all this pop-up stuff on here. Makes me so mad. Okay, get all this crap out of here. All right, so it says federal case between sheriff, podcaster remains ongoing. This was put out Saturday, the day after my birthday. So yeah, it had to have been Saturday, I found out. All right. Federal court case involving Henry County Sheriff John Sproles and podcaster Kristopher Bilbrey remains ongoing. A telephone status conference took place on July 22nd and concluded without further court order. No future court dates had been scheduled as of Friday morning. Well, that's kind of true and kind of not true. We have a tentative court date for what would be a quote-unquote jury trial in March of 2025, but there will be other activity. Basically, where we are now is we've both submitted our documents, and we're waiting for the judge to make a decision and then tell us what's next. So if you all remember, I came on here a couple weeks ago and I read you all a memorandum that my attorney and I had submitted to the court. And part of that memorandum, we laid out basically everything. Does everybody remember that? That was a couple weeks back. We read through, and basically I was contacted by like people up and down the law enforcement corridor, state troopers, sheriff's department deputies, city and town police officers, literally elected counselors, elected commissioners, elected all kinds of elected officials and other politicos contacting me and saying, holy shit, if number one, if I were the judge, there's no way I could read this and think anything other than Sproles is in the wrong. And most importantly, some very big, important people contacted me and said, if I were on the jury, I was contacted by one person that I will tell you literally said, if I was on the jury, there's no way I would find any way in favor other than against Sproles for you. And the fact that this person said this is mind-blowing, because like it was just shocking to me. So like, we've really got the sheriff. Look, bottom line is, The sheriff, very similar to what Muncie Mayor Dan Ridenour is doing right now to me, is just simply in the wrong. Okay? Now, keep in mind, I'm not just trying to take care of myself. My wants, my asks, my relief and what I'm asking for of the judge is to force Sproles to not only unblock me and and allow me to comment and be involved, but to unblock everyone else that he has blocked. If we got down to the end of this and they said, look, Sheriff Sproles is going to give you everything you want. He's going to unblock you. He's going to let you interact. We're going to throw you $100 million. Will you take this and let him allow everyone else to be blocked? I would say, and I've already told my attorney this, no, everybody's coming off with me or we're taking this thing to court. Boom, bang, pow. That's all. That's the only way it is. Because look, fighting the First Amendment deal for me doesn't matter if we're not fighting it for everybody. That's the point. All right. So this is the response. Yeah, right. That's the point. That's the point. This is the response to that. So basically what's happened, and I didn't know this. My attorney's been real busy the last 2 weeks. I sent him an email literally just before we went live, and I said, hey, can you please, I said that they've just ran an article. Remember, if for those of you that remember back to when I read my memorandum, our memorandum needed to be turned in by the 1st of July. And I told you then that the sheriff had until the end of the month because his attorney had been in some kind of a court case or whatnot, and he needed more time. So the judge gave him until like the 19th or the 20th. Well, they submitted their memorandum. The moment we get that memorandum, that night, we will do an episode where we read through it, okay? So I will bring you all of the sheriff's, everything he says. I'm not just going to tell you my side. I'll bring you his side, which is going to be ignorant. Well, we get a little glimpse into it with what's in the newspaper here, okay? And so this says, case background, okay? In July of 2023, an American Civil Liberties Union filed suit in the United States District Court, Southern District of Indiana, Indianapolis Division. The lawsuit alleges that Sheriff Sproles deleted a Facebook comment and blocked Bilbrey, the commenter. The ACLU claimed that this is a violation of the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, arguing that Facebook page in question was Sproles' official Henry County Sheriff page and thus a public forum. Sproles, however, is arguing that the Facebook page was a continuation of his original 2022 Sheriff Sproles for Sheriff campaign page, updated to include new information after he won the election. And it is thus not an official government social media page subject to the First Amendment protections. All right, I'm going to stop here. Clearly, that's what the sheriff is arguing. The problem with that, okay, the problem with that is that is not how he ran his page until after we filed the lawsuit. When we filed the lawsuit, he ran it as his official Henry County Sheriff page. It was only after the suit was filed that he changed the name back and he put a disclaimer on, and he then he's covering up the crime after the fact. So that's number one. All right, we're going to pause here real quick because we've got a comment from a live viewer. Charlize says, when you win this case against the sheriff's department, there goes their new insurance they recently purchased. That, unfortunately for the rest of the people in Henry County, it's the old insurance company that has to take this on. See, that's what's kind of bad for the sheriff. The attorneys that are representing the sheriff are not from his new insurance company. The attorneys that are representing the sheriff are representing the sheriff from the old insurance company. Because all of this happened under the old insurance company, they have to take on the claim. They want him to settle this. They want him to unblock me. They want him to give every bit of this and be done with it. He's the one that's fighting this, and it's going to be interesting to see how much of this they're going to allow him to control the deal. But yes, you're right, Charlize. The new insurance company will be watching. I guarantee you they're watching. I guarantee you they're watching every move that this guy makes. Okay. Moving on with the article. Okay, so he's arguing that it's his campaign page, okay, even though he's not currently in a campaign. He won't be in a campaign until 2026. It's absolutely ludicrous, okay? According to the original complaint filed on July 20th, 2023, Bilbrey commented on a video Sproles had posted to the page, complaining that Sproles had reposted a video excerpt that Bilbrey had recorded. That is a truthful fact. It wasn't an allegation. It wasn't some kind of like, I wasn't. Absolutely 1,000% it was correct. Okay. To me, he had committed intellectual theft, basically, is exactly what he did. And that was our team's complaint to Facebook, which was that he committed copyright theft. That's exactly what Sproles had done. All right. Without permission and out of context. That was the other thing. I literally just typed to him and said, hey, can you attribute this to us? And can you say that this was, out of context? He didn't want to do that. Sproles allegedly deleted Bilbrey's comment and blocked him from the page. I mean, look, they've got to say allegedly, I guess, whatever. There is no allegedly. You can go and find it. I'm not on the page. I can't comment on the page, and the comment is gone. All right. The ACLU lawsuit is asking the federal court to make Sproles unblock Bilbrey and any others who have been blocked from that Facebook page. You guys see that? You guys see it right there? I'm bringing you with me, folks. The suit also asks for nominal damages. I'm not trying to rape him down there, court costs and attorney's fees. Sproles filed a motion on July 31st, 2023, requesting a jury trial pertaining to all of the issues and claims raised by Bilbrey and the ACLU. Bring it on. On October 3rd, 2023, a motion was filed on Sproles' behalf to stay or temporarily stop the court proceedings. However, less than a month later, on November 2nd, the magistrate judge, Dinsmore, denied that motion. Smacked him down. Denied. All right. Recent proceedings. On May 17th, both Bilbrey's statement of claim and Sproles' statement of defense were filed. Bilbrey's claim suggests that Sproles' censorship of Facebook page violates the First Amendment to the United States Constitution and requests all proper relief. Correct. Sproles' defense statement maintains that Sproles for Sheriff Facebook page did not violate an established statutory or constitutional right. I agree. This page on there wasn't the name of the page. That's not what did it. It was a page called John Sproles, Henry County Sheriff. That's the page, which was this page until he changed the name trying to cover up his tracks. Okay. The document also states that Sproles' conduct of blocking Bilbrey from the page did not constitute state action as required for liability, nor did it violate the First Amendment to the United States Constitution, as the page does not constitute a public forum. The only problem with this is In Sproles' deposition, he agreed that because of his position as sheriff and because of various aspects of the page, he basically filed this on May 17th, and his deposition spoke contrary to this. So I think that's interesting. Additionally, the defense statement indicates that Bilbrey is not blocked from the official page of the Henry County Sheriff's Office. There is a page that I am not blocked from. I will admit that, but that's not the page we're fighting about. Any action taken against the plaintiff, Bilbrey, was not intentional, willful, or in a reckless disregard for the plaintiff's rights under federal, state, or local law, the statement said. I mean, I think that's comical. What did he trip and slip and accidentally delete me? I think not. Sproles' defense statement requests recovery of attorney's fees and expenses. He wants me to pay him because he's a jackass. On June 7th, Bilbrey filed a memorandum of law in support of the plaintiff's motion for partial summary judgment. And that's the big document that we went over most recently. The merits of this case hinge almost entirely on whether the Sheriff Sproles' operation of the Facebook page at issue in this litigation constitute government action, which I fully believe it does, such that he may be held liable, and I believe he should, or whether it instead constitute private action, which it doesn't, about which the First Amendment has no say, and I don't believe that's the case here. The document states, Mr. Bilbrey is therefore entitled to a judgment as matter of law on liability and is entitled to a permanent injunction requiring that he be promptly unblocked from Sheriff Sproles' Facebook page. The amount of his damages must await trial. Also filed on June 7th was a plaintiff's motion for partial summary judgment. That document contains hundreds of pages of exhibits, including Sproles' deposition and Bilbrey's affidavit, along with various Facebook posts pertaining to the case. In his affidavit, Bilbrey claims that he is extremely interested in local, state, and national politics. After then, and they're reading from my.
Pop back on screen and read Charlize's comment.
An errant beanbag accidentally hit the block button. That's a very good possibility. That's absolutely a very good possibility of what happened. He saw me one day. I looked a little tan. He thought I was black, and he blocked me. You know, who knows? It's Sproles. We don't really know what the deal is down there. Who knows what he's doing? It's all right. He's got black friends. So then the paper goes on and it quotes, and I love this. This is amazing. Listen to this. I cannot believe, and this guy is supposed to be in some form like helpful to Sproles. They quote the best. My memorandum was like 40 some pages. And out of all 40 pages, the newspaper quotes the best section. Listen to this. This is from my memorandum. After then Deputy John Sproles declared his candidacy for Henry County Sheriff in 2022, I followed the campaign closely, Bilbrey said in his affidavit. As indicated, I have a background in law enforcement myself, and I was extremely concerned that then Deputy Sproles did not have the experience necessary to run the Henry County Sheriff's Office. I was also concerned about several statements that he made during the campaign that caused me to believe that regardless of his experience level, he might not run the office in a professional manner that would best serve the residents of Henry County. I cannot believe that they quoted that. I cannot believe it. So number one, Kate was really happy that was put in. That's like on the record, the official record, that we think that he is, a douche canoe. This dude cannot lead his way out of a situation where it's himself and one other person. He's not his own leader. You know what I mean? And literally, we put that on the record. But now the newspaper has that on record in Henry County forevermore. That is beautiful writing. June 19th, Sproles' attorney, they filed their memorandum of law in support of defense. So that's the document that I'm waiting on. The moment that I get it, we will dissect it and bring it to you. It will be beautiful. But they quote from it, so we have an insight into what their response is. From the moment Sproles was elected, Kristopher Bilbrey has been critically commenting about Sproles in numerous posts and various Facebook and YouTube pages he's operated. Okay, from right there alone. From right there alone. Does Sheriff Sproles think that he, for some unknown reason, should be above being spoken of critically? Like, let me ask you a question. Does anybody, and I know this is going to hurt some of y'all hearts, I understand, because I know some of you just particularly don't like the police. I don't not like police. I have a strong support and appreciation for police that are trained well, that do what they're supposed to do, that aren't out there violating rights. If you have a police officer that's in the wrong, if you have a police officer that's violating people's rights, yeah, that guy is a shitbag. Yeah, that guy should be, or girl should be removed, whoever, however. I'm there. I'm willing. I'm not out here rocking the thin blue line flag, but I'm definitely in support of law enforcement when they're in the right. When they're in the wrong, I'll be out here calling out. Any good cop is going to call out bad policing. And when they don't, it makes them bad cops too. Okay? That being said, you don't hear me on here dogging cops. I'm not on here just saying, oh, these pigs, these law, I don't do that. Sproles is an elected official. Literally, by this, he's telling us that he believes he should be free from critical comment. From the moment Sproles was elected, Bilbrey has been critically comment. Listen, Johnny. From the moment you've been elected, you've been screwing up. No kidding. No wonder. No. Should I be patting you on the back? Yay, you sent that black man to the hospital. You shot him for no reason. Applause. Yay, you're violating Ruddick. What's his name? The guy in the car that you're pulling over all the time and arresting on warrants that don't exist. Yay, good for you. You've got black friends, John. Yay. No, you asshole. You're not a good elected official, bro. You're going to get critical comment. All right? This is hilarious. This next part. Since the filing of this lawsuit, Bilbrey has posted over 100 podcasts and other videos criticizing Sproles, often using vulgar, profane, bizarre language to insult Sproles. Listen, 100 podcasts. All right, let's look at this. All right, let's look. I'm gonna pull you back here. I'm gonna let you guys look at this. Okay, give me a second here because I got to pull this up on screen. I'm going to go to our account. And I'm going to show you, and we're going to find out if he's right. All right, we're gonna look and see what goes on here. All right, share screen. Share. There we go. Here we be. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, look, they had to have prepared this prior to the 19th. All right, so they can get on here and look exactly. You've also been complimentary of other elected officials, so it's not the case of you. No, you're right. You're right. I've also said Sproles did a couple good things. I have complimented Sproles on a thing or two. Not many, but I have complimented him. All right. So let's look at this for a second. Here's the YouTube page as you all could see it. And Sproles. Here's home. Here's videos. Here's shorts. Here's live. Here's podcast. Here's the playlist. All right. That's what's going to be important. This is what we're currently on. Let's click on playlist. We clicked on playlist. Now you guys see that it went to the playlist. I have a lot of people that contact me and ask about various things. So I put my shows in various playlists. I have one playlist that is specifically called Henry County, Indiana Sheriff John M. Sproles. Anything that I do about Sproles, I don't care if it's a short, I don't care if it's a podcast, I don't care if it's a video, anything that I do about Sproles, I put in this playlist. View the full playlist. Okay. Look. Oh, right here. It might be hard for you to see. It says there are 80 videos. And there are only 80. It might be easier for you to see it back here. Right there. You see down, you see it says Henry County, Indiana Sheriff. And right here, it says 80 videos. It might be hard for you guys to see. I promise it's there. All right. 80. All right. So, all right, I'll give him that extra 20, whatever. But just, look, you're filing this in court. Don't you think that you should be truthful? You should be truthful. Like, you have an obligation to tell the truth in these pleadings, bro. It was at 79. We're only on 80 because I'm now doing this. I tagged this in there. So we were at 79 or maybe even less at the time that they were writing it. We were at 78 or 79. So, that's just something I think is interesting. I find it interesting that he has a hard time being truthful with court. I guess it makes it sound better if you say he's done 100. However, also keep in mind, we filed this lawsuit on the 20th of July. The 20th of July, 2023. We've now been over a year since then. We're at 1 year and 8 days since the lawsuit was filed. Okay. So how long does it take to get to 100? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. What does it take? 20 weeks to get to 100 shows. Okay. So all of the shows that we've done since last year, keep in mind that those are not exactly 100 different podcasts. They might be a podcast, and I might make 10 shorts of one. Think about the video that he did where he was talking to Steve Brown. I made, I don't know how many countless shorts of that. And it's not me talking. That's Sproles talking. That's me making a video of things that Sproles said. If he doesn't want that done, look, I'm going to tell you this straight to your face, John. I've told many politicians this. I'm going to look directly at you. Look at my eyes. The moment that you step down, the moment that you resign, the moment that you are beat, the moment that you leave office, I will never speak of you again other than to maybe relate to something like from periodically when I'm like, well, you all remember when Tyler did this, or the other night I told a story about Sean Byram. I will not do any new stories on you. We won't follow you. I'm not interested in your life. I don't care about your personal life. And here's the other thing. They always make this kicker that I talk about his sister. Have you ever heard me talk about his wife? I've mentioned his wife only in the sense that this joker says, my wife has black friends. I don't ever talk about his wife. I don't ever talk about his kids. I don't ever talk about, what he does in the bedroom. I don't talk about private life, private time. I don't do that. I focus on what he does as a public official. The moment that he's no longer a public official, the better for it. I would rather not talk about you. I would rather not talk about you. I'm seeing some comments in here that's interesting. Hey, as far as I'm concerned, the sheriff should drive the most highly visibly marked car of anybody. Number one, the sheriff's sister gets mentioned because I consider her a politico. I consider you don't talk about his personal life like you do others. I really don't talk about anybody's personal life. I don't, the only time I'll talk about someone's personal life is if, for example, someone's personal life, like this. All right, I'm not even going to name names. I'm just going to say if elected official John Doe is having an affair with other elected official, Jane, whatever, Jane Green, okay, then if those things start getting in the way of the whatever's happening, okay, then that might be relevant news. But there are plenty of people out there that I'm aware of doing wonky stuff. I don't talk about that stuff. It has no bearing. I don't care who's getting divorced or whose boots are under whose bed or who's parked in whose driveway. That stuff doesn't interest me. This is not a sleaze thing. The deal with Space Cat brought it up. Those pictures from Adam Leach that started going around, everybody had, of him taking selfies when he's like in the shower and cooking bacon and whatnot. He's was literally doing that stuff like while he was on the clock getting paid. And so that to me was hey, this is something that, the city of Muncie needs to be aware of. But I didn't get into the who, what, where, why, when. So yeah, I don't do that. The reason that the sheriff's sister comes up is because the sheriff's sister puts her nose into this stuff. All right. Like long ago, the other night, I told a story about the Winchester stuff. We went into that real heavy. And I remember someone commented one time and said something really nasty about that. And my ex-wife at the time, she got on and she blasted this person. And I was like, you cannot do that. Do not do that. Because it makes it, number one, it makes it look like I can't fight my own fight. Number two, it's like, I was like, that's not how that works. I'm not doing that. So I told my parents and people, do not get involved. I'm a big boy. I know what I'm doing. If I don't want to sometimes, get my head cracked on something, then I should maybe not put stuff out there. I'm aware of how it goes. So that to each their own, everybody should be the same way. All right, moving on back to this article. Okay. So he goes on. I also thought this was interesting. Sproles says that I do videos criticizing Sproles, often using vulgar, profane, or bizarre language to insult Sproles. Listen, I know from time to time I maybe say a bad word here or there, like call him an asshole or whatever. But I'm not like over the top with it. I don't get like, I'm not like crazy. Bizarre language. I mean, like I know what he's talking about. Like they don't understand when I say like, him and his sister are like, his sister, like they're like a Cersei and Jaime Lannister, that whole thing. Hey, all I can tell you is I don't understand the relationship there. It is what it is. Some political satires involved. And look, Sproles and I are different people, but it goes to show how much he doesn't like the First Amendment. This goes into the whole crux of the case because I'm using my First Amendment right to say what I'm saying. Sproles, if I'm saying something that is slander or libel or whatever, you got an attorney, bro. You know what I mean? Like, let's handle it. You're an elected official. Let me tell you what I think is vulgar, profane, and bizarre. I think it's vulgar, profane, and bizarre for the sheriff, for an elected official to attempt to slander and libel me by attempting to try to connect me to a child molester. I think that's vulgar, profane, and bizarre. And it makes me wonder what sick fantasy Sproles has working in his mind. So you just miss me with that, all right? I think Sproles is vulgar, profane, and bizarre, all right? Also, filed on July 19th was a 466-page defendant's cross motion for summary judgment. A 466-page defendant's cross motion for summary judgment. I can't wait to see what that's going to be. Oh, my God. Part of those documents was a request for the court to enter summary judgment in Sproles' favor. Additional requests include denying Bilbrey's motion for partial summary judgment, dismissing his complaint with prejudice in its entirety and granting any further relief the court may deem just and proper. The attorneys representing Sproles is Michael E. Dorizo of Evansville-based firm Kahn, Dees, Donovan, and Kahn. And the attorney representing Bilbrey is the Gavin M. Rose, badass senior staff attorney for the ACLU. Dude, I do not know another attorney that is so amazing as Gavin Rose. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, when we hit the big time, when this show goes, I am stealing that guy away from the ACLU. He is going to be my staff attorney. I don't know how. I don't know what. I'm telling you, I've never seen another legal mind like Gavin Rose. He blows me away. He's an amazing attorney. An amazing attorney. 400 of those pages are blank. Absolutely. So this is what is going on in Henry County. The sheriff is out here trying to fight against the First Amendment. Ladies and gentlemen, he's out here trying to continue violating people's rights, arresting people on warrants that don't exist, shooting people with not non-lethal, but less than lethal, which means could be lethal, weaponry while they're in a cage and doing all sorts of other nonsense. So, Henry County, it's a dangerous place. How many pages was your request for partial summary judgment? Well, so that's a good question. I think that the actual request for partial summary judgment was like a couple pages, but the document contained hundreds of pages of exhibits. So I'm wondering if the sheriff's 400 and some pages doesn't mean there's like exhibits in there as well. It's a very good possibility that it does. I'm sure that he is that's part of that. Now, as far as the female prisoner, let me start over. I tried doing that a little Dutch. As far as the female prisoner handled inappropriately in the Henry County Jail, she does in fact have her own attorneys, both personal attorneys and ACLU attorneys. There is an ACLU federal rights lawsuit. It is not in any way wrapped up in mine or having anything to do with mine. I've talked to my attorney about that case. And from what little he could tell me, that they are handling the case and it is moving forward. The last I talked to anybody, I've talked to her a couple of times, and I got to tell you, man, she is an absolute tough cookie. She is a badass, and I respect her, and I respect how tough she is. And I really, it's awesome how she's holding her own and doing the thing and fighting the fight. So, I definitely think that's cool. Okay. So now, out of the Sproles watch, here, I do want to talk just real quickly again about this deal in the city of Muncie, concerning the 12th Street, this thing on 12th Street. When obviously this is Sunday night, and the last time I was on was Friday night, so we've not had any kind of time in between where there was anything I could really do to research anything. I will tell you that since we were on last, I did find a couple things with the help of some amazing viewers. I did find a couple of things, and I'm going to send these to myself now so that we can take a look at these. Give me a second. I'm going to pull this up here. If I can get it to load. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Number 1. Number 2. Now, let me see which one of these looks like it's first. One of these must be first. Or did this all happen at the exact same time? Okay, this looks like it says October 23rd, 2021. And this looks like it says July 9th, 2021. Okay, so we'll share this one first then. Okay, so this is from the Star Press. Again, this was sent to me Friday night. This was sent to me Friday night after we were live. Let me blow this up so you all can see it. Close that nonsense out. Okay. So, man, this somehow flew right over my head. I missed this somehow. I mean, look, that's going to happen. July 9th, 2021, from the Star Press, Open Door Health Services plans a new health center at former school site. Open Door Health Services is adding 2 new Muncie locations. One is the city's south side and the other downtown. Healthcare system recently purchased the former Chase building in downtown Muncie at 220 South Walnut. My grandfather was exactly right. Crazy that he talked about this. That's nuts to me. The new location will be used for administration with no healthcare services provided there. Suzanne Klim, Open Doors Vice President of Community Engagement, told the Star Press that later this summer, Open Doors administrative staff will be moving into the building from its main healthcare center a few blocks away at 333 South Madison Street. The administrative staff will relocate to the second floor of the Walnut Street building, with the long-term tenants on the third floor, including the Star Press and Banker's Life, remaining for the foreseeable future. Okay. Currently, the basement and the ground floor of the building are unoccupied, but have been renovated. Klim said that Open Door is evaluating a number of ideas to repurpose the space in a way that will benefit the downtown community. The move is happening due to increased need for more behavioral health care and will allow Open Door to expand its behavioral health capacity at the flagship Madison Street location. All right, so they're moving. They moved to this. This was back in 2021. All right. About half of the third floor in the Madison Street building has been renovated to hold additional behavioral health space. Instead of only a handful of behavioral health rooms, there will now be 13 and an additional testing room. Klim said behavioral health providers will begin seeing clients in the newly renovated space the week of July 12th. And that's back in 2021. Okay, keep in mind this is all 2021. Many of the providers had previously been seeing clients for counseling and testing at our Royal Drive behavioral health site. The move to Madison Street means many clients will now be able to see their providers at the same site where they get their medical care, Clem said, which is good. Along with that, Clem added that if a patient is not currently receiving behavioral health care and is in the building for a medical or dental visit, but also shares a behavioral health need, team members will easily be able to connect them with a specialist at that same visit. All right, awesome. Even before the pandemic, the need for behavioral health services was increasing, said Brian Ayers, president and CEO of the Open Door. Renovating space on the third floor of our Madison Street site will allow us to assist more individuals who need the help and better integrate primary care with behavioral health services, bringing care to the underserved neighborhoods. All right, here we go. This is the former site of the Lincoln Elementary School at 1200 West Memorial Drive, Muncie. Open Door is beginning to make moves on another property it owns, with the demolition coming to a close for the last vestiges of the former Lincoln Elementary School building on Memorial Drive. All right. The provider plans to construct a new health center on the site in late 2021 or early 2022. The area, including the Thomas Park and Avondale neighborhoods, lacks easy access to primary health care, Clem said. The former Lincoln School was built at the corner of Sampson and what was then Omar Avenue in 1895 to replace Avondale School that had been lost to a fire earlier that year. All right. The school closed in February of 1980 when it was replaced by Southview Elementary. The older portion of Lincoln was demolished. The newest addition, a multi-purpose section, was walled off for continued use. The property was eventually sold by the school district. Subsequent use under later owners included a flea market, a bingo, United Steel Workers of America, Union Hall, a voting precinct, and a swingers club. Up until 2021, the building was owned by Greater Muncie Habitat for Humanity, with plans to develop that and other nearby properties for neighborhood uses as an 812 Coalition initiative. It was purchased by Open Door in earlier 2021. Creating a health center at Thomas Park and Avondale neighborhood is part of a larger 812 Coalition. I hate the name of 812 Coalition. I hate that name. I hope they change it. I wish they would change it. I love the work they do. I love the work they do. But 812 is the police code for suicide. And that just seems like a horrible... Every time I hear about this, I'm like, the 812 Coalition, it's like a suicide coalition. That is nuts to me every time I see it. I wonder who else. I mean, that kills me that the 812 Coalition. Anyways, no pun intended, by the way. 812 Coalition resident-driven neighborhood revitalization to improve many and it's called 812 because they're talking about the area of town between 8th Street and 12th Street. So that's why it's called the 812 Coalition. But I would like, they could call it 8th and Memorial. They could call it, I don't know, the 4th Street Coalition, whatever. Anyways, all right. This includes better housing, improved access to food. That's just my hang up. Never mind. Don't mind me. This includes better housing, improved access to food, more job opportunities, and, of course, better access to healthcare services. Ayers told the Star Press that the Open Door is currently reviewing a number of floor plans to determine the most cost-effective way to primary care and behavioral services. Yay! Look at that. Look, there's one of those swingers left behind. Due to the national shortage of the building supply, constructions at the timeframes could be constrained, but officials want to begin building by the end of 2021 or early 2022. I would say we missed that target date. Ayers is hoping to break ground later this year with an anticipated total investment of more than $2 million in the project. Ashley Wilson, Vice President of Operations, told the Star Press that when it comes to health and primary care, studies show the greatest indicators of overall health are not just physical factors like family history of pre-existing conditions, but also social economic factors and health behaviors. Things like a person's access to food, medicine, economic self-sufficiency, and a supportive community have a tremendous impact on the health of the population. Wilson said, along with other businesses and organizations, Open Door has a vision to create this type of environment that supports whole person health in Thomas Park and Avondale Neighborhood. Okay, let me tell you. That sounds cool. That sounds great. I'm all for it. Build a doctor's office there and allow the people in that area to get treatment. I am fine with that. I've got no problem with that. If you're going to open a place down there where people can go and get treatment and doctor care and be able to do that, awesome. I am all for it. I'm not against it. I don't know how anyone could be against it. I'm fine. People should be fine. I don't understand how it would be a problem. Everybody should be cool with it. Like, I'm down. Where, however, when did this go from being a medical treatment facility to then becoming whatever they're talking about this being? When did that switch? Now, listen, I've got to say, again, I don't know that anything changed. All I'm telling you is the other day, I stopped by my grandparents' house. My grandparents said, have you seen the sign down on 12th Street? Riding hours pissing off Shedtown again. And I'm like, no, what are you talking about? And they're like, oh, you got to go down there and take a look at it. And we were talking about it, and we were going to go take a look at it. I had no clue. I had no clue what it was going on about. Literally, as I'm talking to my grandparents, sitting in the chair, I was getting ready to say, hey, you guys want to go drive by and let me take a picture of this sign that you guys are talking about? Literally, as that was happening, bing, I get a message, and someone shared to me this picture. No, you got to understand what I'm saying, though, Kid Rock. Back up. You got to understand what I'm saying. If you're talking about a doctor's office, I don't know why the neighborhood wouldn't be cool with it. If you're talking about a doctor's office where you could go in and get dental work and take your kid for, the flu or an earache, first of all, I wouldn't be, that's not something I would fight. That's a fight I would be out of, because I think that would be a legitimate thing. If it's that's a good thing. That's not what this sign says. So what we've got to do here, because we've got two different stories going on. We've got a story that says they want to turn this into a doctor's office, which, if it's a doctor's office, I'm good for it. I'm okay with it being a doctor's office. But if it's not going to be a doctor's office, then we need to find out what that deal is. So you see what I'm saying? Like, I understand the neighborhood not being okay with what this says on the sign. I get that. That's a fight I would take on and I would be a part of. I get what you're saying there. If we're just talking about a doctor's office that would be open from 9 to 4, 8 to 5, something like that, I'm okay. But it's hooked into an apartment complex for junkies. I don't know. Where are we hearing that? Where's that coming from? That's what we got to figure that out. We've got to figure out where that's coming from, because I've not found anything that talks about housing going there. I need to find out where that's being talked about. That's what I need to find out, is where this. Now, hold on. Let's go listen to this next thing, because this was the next piece of information that got shared. We got to find out what this is. Nope, that's a lie. It's a Suboxone clinic. During what meeting? Oh, are you talking about the neighborhood association meeting? The Thomas Avondale Neighborhood Association meeting? Did they specifically say it was going to be a Suboxone clinic? Taxpayers will pay whose rent? Wait. We got to focus on one thing at a time. So is it going to be a clinic, or is it going to be housing? I'll have to go down. All right, let's listen to this thing here and see what this thing says. Okay. Open Door prepares to open new doors. Open Door Health Services plans to open up a primary health facility at the site of the old Lincoln Elementary School in South Muncie. The facility plans to offer pediatric services, family planning, behavioral, and primary health care. Open Door is a federally qualified health center. It receives federal support to ensure it can take care of those who are uninsured or low income with insurance who cannot afford services. Muncie Habitat for Humanity purchased the property in 2019 to serve as a land bank or holding entity within the 812 Coalition for potential future community service spaces in South Muncie neighborhoods. That was such a visible and important part of our neighborhood that we wanted to make sure that we were able to help answer what happened next with it, said Jenna Ashby, convener of the 812 Coalition and director of the Impact and Programs for Muncie Habitat for Humanity. The Open Door bought the land from Habitat in January 2021. The slot will house Open Door's 6th healthcare facility in Muncie. South Muncie has very few primary health care facilities despite residents' growing needs for health care. Neighborhood revitalization focuses on residents listening to priorities and their concerns for higher quality of life, including access to education, affordable housing, healthcare, and more. They felt like for their neighborhood to be a place that had high quality of life, they needed to have access to healthcare, Ashby said. But one of the things they said they didn't have was access to healthcare. Residents in low-income areas are more likely to experience poor health because of lack of resources that define their standard of living. South Muncie has higher rates of hypertension, diabetes, obesity, substance abuse, which Open Door hopes to address with this new facility. Right next to the future Open Door facility is the Rosebud Coffee House, providing space for social gathering and interaction, builds community, and increases residents' quality of life. In this community, there's a very high percentage of individuals who don't have personal transportation, and until the coffee shop was here, there was really not a place for them to even walk to, said Brian Ayers, CEO of Open Door. It's a greater sense of isolation. People don't tend to consider isolation when thinking of various health outcomes, but there's a correlation there. The intersection of Hoyt Memorial is a focus area for the 812 and its partners to provide space for community gathering. The goal is really to create some energy and community in that residents can feel, as well as those who aren't local to the neighborhood can feel as well, generate some economic opportunities, and really be able to spark some rejuvenation. Construction in the Open Door Health facility is set to begin in the spring of 2022. So I wonder what has pushed this back. I wonder why this hasn't began, why this hasn't started. That's interesting. Okay, let's see here. So many neighbors said no between the lines. Did say for addiction and homeless. Muncie is sick of losing that money to Marion, is how it seems. Homeless, both. It's both. Families and pedos sound like a catastrophe. We don't want this in our neighborhood. Other places to stick it. Someone at the meeting to the guy that owns. Someone at the meeting to the guy that owns the land. He would buy it from him just so it would be built in a shed town. Keep it as grass would be better alternative. Okay, so I'll have to find out what this is. I have no clue. I've not heard. I mean, the sign is the first thing I heard about it. When I first brought the sign up, I said I hadn't heard about this anywhere. You guys said about that you'd heard about it at that neighborhood meeting. Starting tomorrow, Monday, because it's been the weekend, so I haven't been able to talk to anybody. So now that we're going to be back to work tomorrow, I'll be able to find out exactly what the hell's going on here. So let me ask you a question. All right, are we saying that you're under the impression that they're wanting people to be able to live at this facility? This is going to be, because normally you don't live at a Suboxone clinic. People don't live there. So we're saying different things. So I need to know what we're claiming. Are we claiming, are you claiming, is someone claiming that they think that they're going to make this a housing project where people can live? Yeah, I will definitely. Mike is one of them I will reach out to. But I'm just trying to gain what we're saying, because might be multi-use. Just don't know. Just saying. It did not say. It did not say IU Health. No, it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be IU Health. It would be Open Door. It's all Open Door. There's not been anything in the Star Press article or the IPR article that said IU Health. They will build an apartment next to the clinic. Okay. Well, I will look into them and see what they say. I will. There's a couple people. I don't. The other thing is, I know of Mike Martin. I don't know him. I know of him, but I don't know him. So I will reach out to Mike Martin. He's going to be the last person I reach out to. There's a couple of other people that I'm going to reach out to tomorrow to try to find out what is exactly going on here. The other thing is, I'm interested in why there's been so much delay. Why if this was bought in January of 2021, are they just now? Let me ask you this. When was the open door meeting? Not an open door meeting, sorry. When was the neighborhood meeting? Can you tell me about how long ago it was? Was it like last week? Was it last month? Mike is a great guy. Okay. I don't know anything about him. I've heard all of a sudden people be talking about his name. Kid Rock, do you know when the neighborhood meeting was? Ah, yeah, okay. That's what I thought, Charlize. The IU Health the mayor 765. Yeah, that what you're talking about there is that bullshit thing that that Muncie Mayor Dan Ridenour's tried doing with the crisis center. Now, IU Health has left that. They're no longer involved with that. And so that crisis center is what you're talking about. And it's still not done either. And hell, it's just down the street from here. I mean, that crisis center is just the crisis center is just 4 blocks. I'll put it to you, 812. It's the crisis center is at Hoyt and 8th, and this is at Hoyt and 12th. So so that's that. Okay. All right, we're almost done, but I just to wrap up, I want to bring to your all's attention. We are going to be talking in the next couple coming days, sometime this week. I want to try to get Brandon to come on and have a chat, because I want to discuss these two plans. Now, I'm also going to reach out to I saw that the Hoyt opened on my birthday. It's amazing. I'm also going to reach out to the McCormick campaign. I will tell you, we were all scheduled for an interview with McCormick. Everything was looking pretty, and then they canceled it, and then they told me they would figure out a time, and now they're I feel kind of like the jilted lover. I feel like the girlfriend that's calling and being like, hey, call me back. Hey, call me back. They're not calling me. They're not reaching out to me. So I feel like she's flipped the nest. And I'm telling you, that's not something that I like. I have a hard time with that. I'm trying to find out if they've got a plan, if they've got a property tax plan, because I'd like to put it side by side. So here is the Braun Beckwith, and I know you guys can't see that. I'm just showing you. It's here. We're going to go through it. The other one is the rainwater plan, and that's there. So in the next couple days, we're going to go through this. I'm just telling anybody out there, I'm putting out it into the universe. If anybody has any connection with with the Jennifer McCormick campaign. Tell them to get a hold of me. It's not a gotcha game. I just want to have them on. I want to give them a chance to be on. Rainwater's been on. We've had Micah on. I'm still working the deal with trying to get Braun on. I want to give them all three a chance. And I'm going to take a hard line against anybody that is unwilling to come on. Specifically if Indiana is a god-awful, super-duper, horrible, super-duper Republican state where the Republicans do nothing but shit on all of us, even other Republicans. And we've got candidates that are trying to overcome that, but they're not willing to go out everywhere and talking to people. So that's that. So I'm going to keep trying. We'll see what goes on. It'll be bad if I now have to make them a new background like I have to make for Basham every night. Speaking of the devil, tonight is Sunday, July 28th, 2024. That means we are 209 days with no communication from Dale Basham, no answering any questions, no response in any way, no emails, no phone calls, no text messages, no Facebook messages, no Grindr apps, nothing. No messages. Horrible. Dale Basham, if you're out there, please reach out. Talk to me. Get a hold of me. Bring Jennifer McCormick with you when you come. So, I don't know. I don't like it. It's not good. All right, folks, before we get out of here, please do me a favor. Go through, give us the thumb, hit the subscription. If you haven't done that already, that would be awesome if you could. Share the show with everyone you know. Tell people where they can find us. We've got great information for people. Information on the local level. You can see it right up here. It's that little square thing. It looks like a window with bird shit in the middle. That means local. We've got state. We've got United States. We've got world. Everything we've got. I wondered if anybody heard that, the Grindr app. You guys, thank you. Oh, real quick. I don't know what's Grindr. Get out of here. I don't know. Hey, Kate, come up here real quick.
Hi.
Did you know you guys were gone and we went over the we went through this. We went over this. We talked about that while you were gone.
Oh, good.
And so it worked out good. We
including your unintentional backwards racism.
Yeah. Well, we didn't talk about that. But we since
the original version of that backwards was bad.
Yeah, it was not good. We had to rework it a couple times. We did talk about that, and so it was on Friday. We've not had anybody sue us yet for making them fall in love with Rainwater, but I figure
it's going to happen.
We can continue playing it until the election just to see. We might sneak in other things too, but just to FYI, it is there. So yeah, I thought I'd let you know that we did talk about it. So
I'm glad to hear that.
And we're glad you're back. How was the
event with Mom and Dad was great.
Yeah.
Had a lot of people show up to wish them a happy 50th wedding anniversary. So it was really nice. The trip down was hell.
Why?
It is orange cone season.
Oh, yeah.
And what should have been a 5.5-hour trip took closer to 7.5 because of construction and traffic and just...
How many people did you take down?
Just the hubby, me, and the 3 boys.
What do you guys drive in?
Huh? We have an SUV.
Okay.
We have 2 SUVs.
Okay. I can't keep track of what you guys. I always forget what you've got.
Oh, yeah.
I always keep track of what.
SUV, so it was fine with 3 boys, 1 suitcase, and yes, and all the other idiots on the road, of course.
Yes.
But it was fine, and the boys get along with each other. So.
Well, yeah, it's not like. Yeah,
They're like back there fighting each other and punching and stuff. They get along, and it is so entertaining and kind of in a twisted way. I'm really proud, and at the same time, I'm kind of scared to know that I've warped my children to a point where an 11-year-old, a 14-year-old, and an 18-year-old are sitting in the backseat talking about politics.
I love it.
Brody informed us on the way home that he has come to the conclusion that swing states have better roads than stronghold states.
Oh.
Yes.
Why does he think that?
He says, in my experience.
Oh, okay.
The worldly 18-year-old,
Yes.
But he says, here in Indiana, we're a stronghold state.
Yeah.
The roads are shit.
Yes.
And then I go to Ohio, and they're beautiful. He said, and I think it's because Ohio is a swing state. Here in Indiana, as a stronghold, Republicans don't have to keep their promises to get reelected. They just have to have the R next to their name. In Ohio, which is a swing state, if politicians want to get reelected, they need to keep their promises. It means the roads get taken care of. And I was like, that's actually really profound.
That might be, yeah, right. There might be, there might be something to that. That's hilarious. I will tell you also, in other weird, useless knowledge, Brandon found out that over the weekend that the Indiana State Legislature this last session voted on, when you guys go to a restaurant and you order a beer and your waitress is like 19 and they've got to be like, oh, hold on a second, I got to go get someone 21. Or you go and you're at the grocery store and you're trying to, get a case of beer and you've got a kid, because a lot of kids work in those jobs.
Yeah.
And you go there and there's like an 18-year-old and they're like, oh, I'm sorry, I got to go get my manager. Well, the Indiana
beep.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
The Indiana General Assembly, in all of their infinite wisdom, decided to vote and make it to where people 18, 19, 20, so from the adult age of 18, but under 21, so 18 to 20, can now go ahead and scan, boop, your beer, or carry it to you.
Corrupting all the poor children, letting them.
Yeah. Now, the one thing I can imagine is the 18-year-olds. The one reason I could think that this could be a problem is when they're allowing their friends to come through. Because I was sitting back thinking, like, why this is so stupid. Except for when, like, the 18-year-old's like, all right, buddies, you can come through. I can scan you out now. So that'll be interesting. That would have to be watched, I guess. But
they're kids, though. They've been able to get alcohol in other ways for years and years.
Right thing. Yeah, right.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
Now we're going to have rampant teen alcoholism because kids can scan beer.
Damn, it might stop them from using fentanyl. So bring it on. Anyway, they voted.
Just make the legal age 16. You can have beer when you're 16 or a couple glasses of wine. And then when you turn 18, you can have whatever you want, because then we don't have 21-year-olds getting alcohol poisoning, because by that point they've been drinking for 5 years and it's who gives a shit. Yeah,
right. Well, so they voted and it passed. So now they can do that. now they can do it. Now, thank God we can do it. However, there were a couple of them that voted against this.
Oh, let me guess.
Uh-huh.
JD stood up in full support of this kind of legislation.
Oh, no. He voted against it. Goody Two Shoes, J.D. Prescott. I would like to know what his rationale is for voting against this.
Well, drunk people have stupid sex.
Yeah, well, yeah, right.
And
He doesn't like that.
No,
He is so stupid, man.
He can't even say the word sex without stuttering over it.
Right.
He
is so...
Alcohol leads to drinking and bonking,
He's so stupid, man. I cannot. I didn't even see it. When he first sent it to me, I looked. I was like, I know JD voted against this. And I was like, yeah, he didn't. Great. I love it. He did not vote against this. And Brandon's like, did you see that JD voted against it? And I was like, no, he didn't. And I looked and I'm like, oh my God, he did. He literally voted against this. That freaking idiot voted against this.
It's a way that people have fun. You can't have alcohol because people have fun. You can't smoke because people like that. You can't have sex and you can't talk about sex. And you certainly can't read about sex.
Yeah.
Because people might enjoy that too.
I'm gonna pull it up. We'll look at it here real quick.
Look at Rowway.
Yeah, this is okay, so JD voted no. Yeah. JD voted no. Rowway was excused. She didn't vote, period. Hold on. What is this? It's House Bill 146. Let me pull this up. House Bill, or not House Bill, Indiana SB 146. Give me a second here. We'll look this up.
Senate bill?
Yeah, Senate bill.
Okay.
So it was put forth by the
Oh, well, it was 19 before. You were 19, you could serve or sell it.
Really? It was 19?
Yeah, this is the news article here. Senate Bill 146 lowered the age from 19 to 18 during the 2024 legislative session. According to the
That's so stupid.
15 to serve alcoholic beverages under certain conditions. Workers must complete an alcohol server training program while employed, and they cannot work as bartenders. So they changed it down a year.
Did Linda Gregory? I love it. Yeah. Well, so yeah, but okay, 1 year.
18, so 1 year. That's
1 year.
Huge difference.
1 year, and let's see. Who are all these idiots that voted? Oh, Bruce Borders couldn't. Of course, he's a weirdo. J.D. Prescott didn't. Let's see here. Rowway was excused.
Yeah, we were in Germany. It was great.
Not voting was Barrett, Jeter, Morrison, and the stupid speaker.
Yeah, my two oldest kids became legal to drink in Germany on the economy.
Sweet and Cash voted for it. That's good.
That's good.
And Cash is a big time Christian.
Jesus turned water into wine. There is nothing wrong with alcohol.
Well,
it's people who do stupid shit with alcohol.
Brandon had
nothing wrong with guns. It's
Brandon had a theory.
Dumb stuff with it. Oh, this will be good.
Brandon had a theory that it was people in the stupid hair club had a problem with this bill for whatever reason. So, yes, that's Stumblefoot is what I believe. Goodrich. Let's see where Goodrich fell. Goodrich voted for it because he wasn't on the... Yeah, Goodrich. Let me see here.
He wasn't on either of the other two.
Yeah, Goodrich voted for it. He voted for it. Obviously, Lucas voted for it. Lucas is like, I don't care who brings me my drinks. As long as I'm able to drive home.
Yeah.
So.
It's moderation.
Hey. Mr. Orchard always said everything in moderation except heroin. I just didn't understand. Did that mean everything in moderation except heroin? Don't ever do heroin? Or everything in moderation except heroin? Go wild! I never really knew which way he meant. He should have been clear on that. That would have been helpful. So that's that.
Yeah. Well, it's always fun to see you and hang out with everybody. Crack is bad. Okay.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, that's going to do it for us. I appreciate Kate's back. That's always good. Appreciate each and every one of you being here. Please share the show with everyone you know. Help spread the word. We will be back here tomorrow, obviously, God willing, at 9 p.m. Eastern. You know how it is. Thank you all for everything. You guys are always amazing. God bless each and every one of you. Have a good rest of your weekend. The hour and 8 minutes there is left. Have a great day tomorrow at work or whatever you guys do, or wherever you are in time if you're listening to this. And we will see you back here tomorrow. God bless. Good night. Goodbye. You know,